Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Beguir Beu, once again from the prologue episode of the new Gundam series, The Witch from Mercury. Once again, this video has been sponsored by those awesome people over at Hobby Link Japan, so if you do want one of these of your own, link is down there in the description. So jumping straight on into the aesthetics, and this is what the high-grade Beguir Beu looks like just snapped together using all of the stickers and a little bit of panel lining here and there, but for the most part this right here is straight built. This is a very unique design. It almost has a bit of a Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise feel. It's got a lot of purple parts and clear elements all over the place, kind of like any of the different Eldora units we would have seen from that, and it also has an almost cubile kind of inherited look like we would have seen with other kits like the Mobile Doll Sarah. First off, when it comes to the colors on this kit, we've got a healthy dose of purples. That's a dark one for the inner frame segment, and I will mention I did delete the build of this particular kit by accident, but besides the arms, the head, and the feet, this is another kit that has a full frame in the body. So that is a full frame running from the ankles into the waist unit up to the torso, which once again is spectacularly impressive for a high-grade kit. Like I mentioned, the design of this is incredibly unique. We've got a lot of rounded segments, clear aspects, some claw-like feet, and a massive ribbon-like backpack. This really doesn't look like much else besides maybe the color scheme of the Chimaras and the Mobile Doll Sarah yet again. Jumping into a bit of a size comparison, there it is beside your average size high grade, and there is a master grade also for scale. So as you can see beside the high grade right there, when it comes to bulk, especially around in the wings, it's definitely dwarfing that high-grade RX 78-2, and it's a little taller thanks to those feet. There it is next to the Gundam Rubris from the exact same episode, which is the Witch from Mercury prologue, and there it is beside a random high-grade I just pulled off the shelf, which is the high-grade Freedom Gundam. A couple of random high-grades, there is the high-grade Gundam Barbie Lupus, Core Gundam F91, Wing Zero, and the Hazel Alsa Gigantic Arms. Finally, there is the shelf presence test, and as it goes for a high grade, this isn't so bad at all. The big backpack definitely makes it stand out. The fairly unique color scheme when it comes to gunpla also makes it stand out. But if you've got a big collection of big gunpla, it may get a little bit lost in there. So now jumping into the full 360-degree spin, and this, once again, is an absolutely phenomenal design. It really goes with the whole feminine aesthetic of the Witch from Mercury so far when it comes to the design of the mobile suits, and it's got a lot of cool aspects. This kit features a whole lot of clear parts, which once again really looks like a kind of typical recent Ebikawa design. We've got lots of clear segments up on the backpack, which you can see from the front. We've got some in the upper legs and some hidden away, but still visible up on the shoulder. Now, I will mention the head itself is very heavy on the stickers, but there are some clear parts in underneath those. We've got a clear segment for the cockpit in the front, and I will mention that that segment looks so much like a Gundam muzzle, it's not even funny. That is cool. Like I just mentioned, this kit is very heavy on the stickers, and some of them are extremely large. None of them are really all that bad besides the ones up here on the head. Once again, there are clear segments underneath these, but for the most part, you are going to be using just bare stickers, especially that one on the front of the head. There is no clear piece under that. That's the best you're getting. A lot of the other stickers are in underneath the clear parts, which actually work quite well, very well in fact. They just serve to reflect the light forward from inside there. They're kind of like a tiny little strip ribbon all around the outside of that reversed teardrop shape. Same goes up here inside of the shoulder, just a little ribbony strip inside of that. And up inside of the shoulders here, we've got some fitted stickers right in underneath. Once again, just reflecting that light out and forward, which works well. These absolutely huge stickers look like terrible offenders, but they turn out to be not that bad. They actually just turn out to be inside of here, so you'd never really notice, unless you look ridiculously close, that these are stickers at all. Sure, you can kind of tell by the surface and the edges ever so slightly, but not awful. The biggest, most obvious sticker of the lot is this one right here in this little thruster segment around on the back, which has a real Jinx vibe from Gundam 00. But yeah, that sticker in there, that is two stickers above and below, and that one could be a lot better, but it is around back. So now jumping into the accessories, and here's absolutely everything that comes inside of the box. What we've gotten here is the two arm segments, which have the bayonets, the 2 bolts, which are the non-kinetic pods, and for using with those we've got a pair of wires and this little stand. First off, when it comes to the hands that are in here, we've only got the 1 set of hands, exactly the same as what we would have seen with the Rubris. They are in the matching color to the kit itself, they look about average, and it is always a little bit of a shame when you don't get some pre-posed hands as well for some action poses. But once again, they may come sold separately in future. So when it comes to the armaments in here, the main weapons we have for this mobile suits are the bayonets. According to the instruction manual, it says, "These are portable weapons for mobile suits equipped on both arms. They consist of double beam gun units and sword units with physical sword units, which can be detached if required." So just like you can see right now, we've got a big minty green blade on both of these. This isn't translucent or clear on effect part or anything like that. This is a big old physical blade, and we do have some beam guns as well. So these are combination weapons, so not entirely unlike 00's GN sword. Attaching these is quite simple. You just pop the back of the hands, pop the handle of these weapons into the hands, and then the back locks the weapon and the forearm together, so it's nice and secure. And I will mention, these are actually easy to remove together just like so because they are attached to the cuff. So when you are attaching and detaching these, I recommend actually taking the cuff off and just setting everything up like this first, and then finally popping it back on to the Beguir Beu, just like so. So now moving on to the next piece of equipment we have, which is the non-kinetic pods. According to the instructions right here, this is an advanced version of the Permit ECM equipment that put an end to the drone war fought with unmanned units. They are wire-guided remote control devices that adopt non-kinetic effectors, which became the core element of the aforementioned equipment. They lock onto targets, maneuver to follow their movements, and launch antidote attacks that interfere with the GUND format links. First thing I will mention about these is they are not fully color accurate. They're meant to have a bunch of gray segments in the circular aspects and all around the trim segment that bisects the balls. That'd be easy enough to paint yourself with some paint or a Gundam marker, but I thought I'd mention it. When these are not in use, they're stored round back on this big ribbon looking backpack. I will mention the sections that they attach onto do not actually move like a hinge, even though it looks like they do, but I will mention they do have some rotation. When you want to display these in action, you just pop them off like so. We've got an included wire in here you cut in two, add some ends onto them, and then the first end attaches onto the backpack like this. The other end attaches into the ball. But I will mention the wire in here is not strong enough to hold these up, sadly. But that is why there is an included stand in here too. The stand is just a smaller stand, so if you're thinking of using it with the actual Beguir Beu itself, it will not hold it up. Well, it might for a second or two. This attaches into a funny end of these. It actually attaches into where you'd expect this thing to actually do its shooty shoots and whatnot. I will mention you can try and stick this in the bottom, but it's not a secure hold, but it will look a little bit better. And there is only one of these included, even though there are two of these non-kinetic pods. So these are sold separately in some effect packs that are out there, so I do have another one for using in this review, but I will mention there is only one included in here. So anyway, finally, that right there is what this kit will look like with both of those non-kinetic pods displayed on action bases flying around. So now jumping into the articulation, and as usual, first off, this thing is rock solid. It does not move a centimeter. This, once again, is another polycapless build, and that seems to be the way this line is going. So everything is just plastic on plastic, so holds together in such a perfect way, and nothing feels like it's going to fail. We've got a double ball jointed neck for that giggity goo. What we get out of that then is the head all the way up like so, all the way down unrestricted, side to side, once again completely unrestricted. So this is quite awesome. The shoulder here is aligned to move to the front like so, a lot of movement there. There is that full shoulder roll, full spin all the way around, will get blocked by all the goings on in the backpack. Raising the arm up all the way, and that is impressive. The shoulder armor can move separate to the arm. The usual full spin at the upper arm. The elbow bend here is quite simplistic. That is the limit to the range of movement. And as you can see here, it's kind of held on a peg that runs through it as opposed to our usual kind of joint. So very simple. Finally then, the wrist is your typical ball joint. As for the ab crunch, front to back, we also have a side to side. This is nicely designed. It's a ball joint aligned to the front with a bit of rotation. As for that rotation, it goes all the way around like that. A very small and subtle front skirting armor that moves upwards like so on a little hinge, down like that. Paralyzed butt flap. Just like the Rubris, the hip doesn't actually move. The joint peg is in the upper leg, so there is no shifting motion inside there. And this then is what we get from the kick all the way up to the front. So very, 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 very high. And there it is all the way out to the back, a little bit blocked by the butt flap. This will definitely absolutely kill the splits. And we lost something back there, which I will mention is one of the things about this line a lot of people are a little skeptical about. That is the fact that this is a C-clip. And as you can see, that's already starting to strain right there. And, well, as you saw, the heel just fell off. So those are prone to actually stressing out. Right here, we've got the full spin at the upper leg. Actually, it seems to get blocked a little bit. No, that's a full spin. Once again, another simple joint here at the knee. It's just a single joint, which allows it to swing all the way back like so. The knee armor can then move, which is quite cool. The feet on this particular mobile suit are kind of like claws. We've got a little bit of motion, only about that. If you push it any further, it will pop on that C-clip like so. This front section can close down like this for when it's in standing on the ground poses. And as for that functional movement, there it is all the way out to the back. There it is to the front, so quite limited. And then the side. Ahem. Then the side to side is here to here. So not the same level of posing you're going to get out of the Rubris. Finally, now to the backpack, nothing moves up here. These wings can rotate on these points like so, where you attach the big old balls can rotate around the full 360 as well. And we do have opening mechanisms on both wings, one here and this one up here as well. So it actually moves out quite easily. If you're having trouble getting this one out, just go boink, and there you go. Pretty cool. So anyway, as far as the articulation is concerned, this is great. Very, very good. We do have a couple of limiting aspects. The elbows and the knees could be a little better. The ankles are a little bit limited, but then again, space use mobile suit, it's not going to be standing on the ground all that often. But what we do have in here gives you a whole lot, and it is rock solid to boot. So I say, a damn good poser. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and this is a gold tier kit through and through, and definitely pushing the high grade boundaries. Not quite as far as what we would have seen with the Rubris, but that is the main mobile suit, the main Gundam mobile suit at that, whereas this is more of an enemy suit, so usually they don't get the same level of detail and quality. But still, damn good. Visually, the only letdown is the sticker up on the head, I feel. Maybe the one around on the thruster, but if you get yourself a little bit of paint, you'll definitely be able to fill all of that in. Besides that, all the detailing is here, the proportions are fantastic, and the colors are absolutely beautiful. When it comes to the accessories, it's got everything you've seen in that prologue episode. Everything works really well. The way the stand connects into the balls is a little funny, but I'm sure you can actually work around that for some pretty badass poses. I recommend keeping an eye out for maybe a stronger wire, and then you can pose them freely. Lastly, then, when it comes to the strength of the finished kit and the articulation, it is all awesome. We do have a couple of issues with some C-clips around on the heels, and some minorly limited joints, but I mean limited compared to the Rubris. Compared to a standard high grade, this thing kicks all sorts of ass. If you're thinking of getting one, you think it's a cool looking suit, I say 100% go for it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Witch from Mercury reviews once they start coming out in October, and I'll see you next time. As always, this video and every video would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos. And special thanks to those of you who are supporting me over on Patreon and on the channel members, including Caleb Engelhart, Global Frequency Studios, Go Little Rockstar, Gunpla UK Limited, Joe, Kill Me Inc., Lauren Seahack, RG59061, and Van Fawn.